Assalamu alaikum everyone. Hope everyone is doing great. I know I disappeared, but I am back and I'm back with a topic that I'm so excited to talk about. So today's video is going to be all focusing on modesty, abayas, hijabs, all of that. I'm going to be, showing you guys and explaining to you guys some tips and tricks that are going to help you with your journey, whatever journey you're on. Guys, I'm telling you guys, 2024, one of my biggest goals is to talk more about modesty, my journey, and empower the Muslim woman that I can. I know that I'm not perfect and I know that my hijab is flawed, and I hope and I pray that inshallah, Allah makes it easier for us. But without further ado, guys, let's get straight into the video. There is going to be a time in your life where you might not even realize why you're covered. You might not even realize who you're doing it for. And if you're in that point in your life right now where you feel like you're dressing modest or you're covering up, but you just don't have that motivation, you just don't have that spark in you, you don't know why half the time you have to cover yourself, you just do it because you know you have to, right? I want you to make it a goal this year to study the books a bit better, to do your own research, and to understand why it is an obligation for us Muslim women to wear hijab. Because if you wear hijab without understanding the meaning behind it, without understanding who you're wearing it for and why you're wearing it for, you will have a hard time falling in love with it. You will have a hard time wearing it, So I think the most important thing to start your hijab journey, to start your modest clothing journey, is to understand who and why you're wearing it for. Who are you wearing it for? We as Muslim women, we are not covering for men. That is not why we're covering. We are covering ourselves because Allah has commanded us to cover ourselves. He has told us in the Quran that we have to cover ourselves, point blank, period. So it's a commandment from Allah. We are not covering for men. And when we understand who we're doing it for, and then we understand why has Allah told us to cover up. Allah could have told us easily to expose ourselves, to flash our beauty, to flash ourselves out there, but He has specifically told us to cover ourselves, to hide ourselves, all those things. Why? There is a greater meaning behind these things. And again, that's something that you need to do your research. You need to fully understand why you are doing this. The why is the most important thing. Having a why in everything in your life and in different parts of your life is important. For example, you can't just start a business and not know why you're doing it. You need to know that, right? So it's really important. Now, I'll tell you guys a story with me, like personally. Hijab, modesty, covering up was never something I was taught, because in my culture, like culturally speaking, it was just like, a man is coming, wear a hijab, wear a scarf. It doesn't matter if your hair is showing. It doesn't matter if whatever clothes, just cover your head. That's kind of like the culture that I grew up in, right? It was not Islam at all. Islam does not teach us that. But it was just like, someone's coming, wear it. When you're wearing outside, you can just have it loosely on your head. There were just different things that I just didn't really understand. And I never grew up with the foundation of why am I even covering up? I started wearing hijab at the age of 7. I would see my mom wrapping her head around with a big shawl, and I was like, Mom, I want to wear hijab. And she was like, are you sure? Like, you're still young. I was in kindergarten at that time. And I was like, yeah, I want to wear hijab. Like, I really like it and stuff. So I started wearing it at the age of 7. Again, me wearing hijab at the age of 7, not knowing why I'm wearing it, not knowing who I'm wearing it for, and really just knowing nothing. I just started. And then as I was growing up, discovering that I never really understood why I was wearing it. It was just more so like, I've been wearing it all these years. I'm just gonna wear it again. And I was wearing hijab. I was wearing body-fitted clothing. Like, when I mean body-fitted clothing, I mean I have a hijab on my head, but you can see every single thing on my body, and it's just tight clothing, right? I'm being transparent, I'm being vulnerable, but it's whatever. So then when I was 14, we went back home to my home country. I went with my mother, and we went there for 6 months, guys. 6 months. And the first month that I was there, I remember I used to wear hijab and a pair of tights with like everything. It doesn't matter what I was wearing on top. I was gonna wear, the bottoms were gonna be tights. And if you guys know anything about tights, tights are revealing. They show every part of your leg, and it's just, everything is out there, right? So I wore tights, and I remember my mom's brother, my uncle, he saw me and he was like, you know, he was shocked. He was like, whoa, like, because his daughters have never worn tights. And I was like, I guess, breaking these generational curses, which again, I'm not proud of. So he was like, whoa, like, you know, what is she wearing? Like, I was wearing white leggings. And he's like, how do I bring it up to her that I'm not gonna let her go out if she's gonna wear those? So for me, I was scared. I was looking at his reaction. I saw him like just being annoyed and like kind of like, what? No, you're not gonna go out the house like this. And he comes to me and he's like, Aisha, can you go wear something loose? I don't want you to wear tights ever. I want you to go wear something loose. He's like, ask one of my daughters for an abaya. And bear in mind, when I'm 14, I know nothing about abayas. I just know that I never, ever, ever want to wear one. That's all I know. The only thing I knew about abayas, like those loose dresses that I now wear full time, is the fact that I'm never gonna wear that. Or if I wear it, I'm gonna wear it so tight. That's the mindset I had at the age of 14. Sadly, a lot of it was influenced by the Western media. So he told me, I immediately start crying. And I'm shaking and I'm crying and I'm like, no, like, who is he to force me what to wear? Like, I want to wear tights. I can wear tights. We live in this century. Like, no one dresses like that anymore, the way he wants me to dress. I go to my mom. I start crying. My mom's like, oh my God, what is going on? Like, he's upset Aisha. So she goes up to him and she starts arguing with him. She's like, you know, I don't care what you do and what you ask your daughters to wear. You're not going to talk to my daughter and you're not going to force her anything. If she wants to wear tights, you're going to let her wear tights. And he was just like, wow, like, damn, you know, like, I can't say anything to her. And I remember just feeling so like, yeah, you know, you heard it. My mom, she's got my back. And it was one of those things where kind of took, you could say, a toll on me, because I remember everyone, my cousins, everyone laughing because they're like, why is she making it such a big deal, you know? But it was a really big deal for me. I did not want to wear anything loose. I did not want to cover up at that time. I was wearing a hijab and that's about it, right? So, you know, this is something that stuck by me, that I never listened to him. I cried. I said that I was not going to wear anything, you know, that's going to be modest and stuff. And 2 years ago, randomly, one day I was wearing a hijab and I was wearing, you know, tight fitted clothes. I think I was wearing sweatpants and I was wearing like a shirt that barely covered my bottom half. And I was just like, you know, how am I a Muslim woman? How am I supposed to, you know, cover myself up if what I'm wearing, I don't feel covered in that? You know, like, this whole idea of like modesty and dressing modest was like, in my head, I was like, I'm wearing all my clothes, I'm covered, but I don't feel covered. I feel vulnerable. I feel like any wrong move and someone can really just have a look at my body. And I felt like I was out there, and I didn't want to be out there. I want to be in control of who sees my body. And that was 2 years ago. I had this realization that I am tired of wearing these loose, baggy clothes and always having that guilt. It was like this guilt of like, even though I'm wearing loose, baggy clothes, even though like, you know, I'm covered, I'm tired of feeling like I am not covered, if that makes sense. And I remember in my journey of going from, I will never wear abayas, I will never ever wear, you know, hijab to the point where I'm covering every strand of my hair. Because again, that's another story time that I can tell you guys, that at one point in high school, I was showing hair as well. But let's just stick to like, you know, dressing modest right now, that I was like, I don't think I will ever get to that level. And 2 years ago, I'm looking at myself in the mirror and I'm like, no, this is not how I want to be. This is just does not feel genuine. It does not feel like I am really sacrificing anything. Because one thing you need to understand, Islamically speaking, when we think about anything that we're doing for the sake of Allah, it comes from a state of sacrificing. You are not doing it because you want to. You are sacrificing your own wants and your own, you know, love and the things that you desire for a greater cause, for a greater reward. You're sacrificing that. And I'm like, you know, I've been wearing hijab since I'm 7. and I have not evolved in my hijab. And that's a really, really scary thing. If you've been wearing hijab for 5, 10, 15 years, and you have not evolved in your hijab journey, you started wearing a hijab and you're the same, you still dress the same, you still act the same, nothing about you has changed, that is an issue in itself. That is something that you need to work on. Your hijab is supposed to be a journey. It's supposed to evolve. Every single year, you are supposed to get better at something, whether that be the way you dress, whether that be the way you act, whether that be the language you use it. Because modesty is not just the way you look, it's not just the way you dress, it's how you carry yourself, it's your character, it's how you think, it's how you act, it's how you treat others. That all comes under the umbrella of modesty, right? So if your modesty is not evolving, you need to sit down with yourself and need to talk to yourself, like, how will I go to the next step? I need to have a goal and I need to do it now. And if you're not wearing hijab right now, at this point in your life, you're not wearing hijab, and your idea is, I will wear hijab when I'm ready. I am not ready yet. I promise you, you are never going to be ready. You know why? Because shaitan is telling you, it's okay, you have time. Time is deceiving. Time is deceiving. What you might think you have now, you might not have it at all. I want you guys to deep that. What you might think you have now, you might not have at all. And I'll give you guys an example. I'm not a hijabi right now. I say I have time. I'm going to start wearing a hijab in 5 years. I die next year. It was a delusion. Time is delusion, right? So I want you guys to think about this thing, that this whole, I will do it later, I will do it when I'm this, I will do it when I'm older. Do it now. I promise you, it will not get easier. It will not get easier. If you're putting off the hijab, it will only get harder. You will never just want to wear it. Who wants to cover their hair and their beauty and just look like an egg? But you have to do it. Regardless of how you feel, regardless of if you're ready or not, you have to, because it's a command from Allah and you are wearing it for Allah, and you know that your reward is not in this dunya. Your reward is never going to be in this dunya. You're not wearing it for people. You're wearing it for Allah. You are wearing it for Him. Work on yourself now. You don't have time. If you think you have time, if you think you have all these years, let me break it to you. Life is not promised. Death can come anytime and it can all go away. So if Allah sees that you are in the state of, trying, Allah sees that you're trying, you're doing your best, you're putting in that effort, even when it becomes hard, He sees that. I promise you, He will put barakah in your life. He will put blessings in your life. He will make your life easier. But if you're not trying, if you're not doing anything, and you just have these dreams and hopes that one day you're going to wear it, it's not going to happen. Your actions need to be aligned with what you're going to do and what you're not going to do. And you have to push yourself to do it. Even if you're not ready, you have to push yourself. And another thing that I will say is, modesty is truly something that you cannot expect that other people will give you the love for it. It has to come from within. You need to understand what you are worth. And I promise you, girls, this is for the ladies, you guys are worth something that is not, it cannot come in terms of like words. You're worth so much. Your beauty is worth so much. Your sacrifices are worth so much. As a woman, the hardest thing for us to do is to, not really beautify ourselves. It's the hardest thing, and I struggle with that myself, but it's the hardest thing. So if it's the hardest thing, it's the biggest sacrifice, and Allah sees that it's a sacrifice. He sees that it's hard for us women, but that's the beauty of it. We need to do that. Now, another thing that has helped me with my journey to become more modest is the type of people I'm surrounded with, the influences I have. You know, a lot of us, we are surrounded and we indulge so much social media. We are constantly scrolling for hours and hours on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, on all these different social media platforms. And as a Muslim woman, the last thing you want to do is see other women, especially other non-Muslim women who are not wearing hijab. Because I'll be honest, if you're struggling with your hijab and you're on social media and you're watching women flaunt their hair and wear tight, revealing, you know, bodysuit type of clothing, everything is out, that's the type of influence your brain has. Subconsciously, it is only making it harder for you. You might just think that, oh, you know, whatever, like she's a non-Muslim, whatever, I'm not. But it's affecting you. It is affecting you here and it's making it hard for you here. And that's what you don't want. So when you are on your social media apps and you're scrolling, follow the Muslim woman you want to be like. Follow the woman you want to be like, right? Follow good influences, good people that you aspire to be like. You know, these are girls that hold qualities and characteristics and values that you hold or that you want to hold, right? But having that mindset of like, okay, if something is bringing me further from Islam, if something is bringing me further from dressing modest, I'm gonna unfollow, I'm gonna block, I'm gonna delete, I'm gonna remove. That goes for friends. If you have friends that are making you dress immodest, if you have friends that are making you want to show 2 strands of hair with your hijab or like not wear hijab at all, unfollow them, remove them. Say that I have left this person for the sake of my love for Allah, right? So this is something that you guys can totally 100% work on. Filter your social media so that it helps you. It boosts your iman, it boosts your love for the deen instead of making it worse, right? Social media is a really, really big thing, guys. You might not even realize how big it is, but it's a huge thing. It's a huge, huge thing, okay? Another thing that you can do is, you know, not listen and not take advice from the woman you don't want to be like. You know, a lot of times nowadays you see all these women giving advice and do this, do that. It's your body, you know, like your body, your choice, wear whatever, you're free to live. No, guys, don't listen to these types of women. They have it all wrong. This feminist mindset, this mindset of do whatever, you own it, girl, you're the boss. No, we don't come from that type of mindset. That's not a mindset of a Muslim woman. I'm sorry, that's the mindset of the kuffar, of the woman in the West, and you don't want to be like that. So make sure that, you know, you're listening to podcasts, videos, you know, even if you're just watching something, you're watching it from women that understand and that know the beauty of Islam. You know, they're not women who have no idea what Islam is, because you're gonna get misguided and you're gonna have the wrong idea of how and what you're supposed to do. So make sure you're careful with that as well. And you know, another thing is like sometimes the music we listen to, sometimes the shows we watch, the movies we watch. With shows and movies, I feel like we understand that that's a show and movie and okay, we can watch it. But with a song, again, subconsciously, half the time we don't even know what we're listening to, or we don't even know the damage it's having on our mind. We don't know that, right? So making sure that you're listening to stuff that pushes you in a good way, you know, pushes you to understand that the love and the beauty of covering up, nothing that makes you want to strip yourself and remove clothing. And like finally, like what I would want to end off with is, you as a woman, you hold a lot of power, you hold a lot of beauty, you know, and if you were to understand what you hold and how beautiful you are, Allah has created you so beautifully. Like, I really want you guys to I know I say this a lot, but like, Allah has created you in the best of ways. You know, He's given you every single thing that you need. He's made you so beautiful. And that beauty radiates, right? That beauty radiates from within. And when you understand what you have, the power you have, the type of overall stuff that you carry as a woman, I'm telling you, like, no amount of social media, no amount of people, celebrities, this person saying that will ever make you change your ways, because you know where you stand. You're confident. You're confident. You know what you have. And that's the thing, guys. Having confidence is the most important thing. You know, a woman walking with a hijab, and you see the confidence. You see that she doesn't care what the world thinks about her. You see that, you know, the love is not even for the dunya, it's for her akhirah. And you're like, damn, you know, mashallah, like the confidence this woman holds. She just walked into the room, everyone's eyes are on her, and even though she's fully covered, right? That's the type of confidence you want to have. As a Muslim woman, confidence is your best friend, right? Even if you're struggling, fake it. Fake it, guys. Fake it. If you're struggling, fake it. Don't tell others, especially if you have like non-Muslim friends that you're struggling. You know what they're gonna do? Maybe take it off. Maybe you're not ready. Okay, maybe try wearing it like a month later, or just relax. It's not that deep. That's the type of advice you're gonna hear from them. But if you fake it, you show confidence, you show people you love it, and you actively are learning why you're wearing it and who you're wearing it for, the love will come automatically. And it will come in a way where you won't need validation from others. You won't need motivation from others. You will be disciplined. You will be disciplined to cover up. You will be disciplined to dress modest. You will be disciplined to put your desires aside and put your values so forth. So when it comes to this topic, I think we can all agree that there's a lot to talk about. If there's specific things you guys want me to talk about when it comes to modesty, let me know in the comments. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I really hope you guys understand the importance and the beauty that this topic holds, not just for me, but for all of us Muslim women. But yeah, if you guys have any suggestions, you want to see some specific videos, leave them in the comments down below. Subscribe, comment, and like, and inshallah I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.